for the weak hearted. Ever since the beat started, the flow switched up.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning James Metcalf, Ted Cheeseman. This was absolutely one of the best fights, if not the best fight of this year. These guys coming from rival towns fought a performance that's on the level with Gotti Ward, Barrera Morales. Okay, those type of fights happen with this fight. That's in the same category. I mean, it was back and forth action. These guys went back and forth. I damn near lost my voice. It wasn't the co-main event, but it should have been. Okay, because I think what was it? Molina versus Yardley was the co-main event, but that should have been, because that was the best fight on the card. The main event it wasn't long enough. I mean, it was heavyweight, so it was one of those tedious fights. These guys hurt each other back and forth for 11 rounds, and we had we had obstacles that both guys had to deal with. Cheeseman had a bloody eye. No, sorry, all this was bloody. They were talking about stopping the fights around 6 or 7. Okay, he was taking too much punishment. He was bleeding from his eye and his nose and his mouth. Whereas Kid Shamrock, James Metcalf, was swelling black and blue and black. So he had the swelling problems, and Cheeseman had the bleeding problem. So one swelled, the other one bled. And it was something to see, I tell you. The uppercuts, this is how the fight went. Cheeseman won the fight in the middle of the ring when he boxed. When they brawled head to head, it was anybody's fight. But Cheeseman won that fight in the middle of the ring, while they were in the middle of the ring, because they were all over the place, people. But when Metcalf, Kid Shamrock, when he got on the ropes, he was emulating this rope-a-dope style technique against Cheeseman, because for whatever reason, when Cheeseman is not in the middle of the ring, he wasn't as effective. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe because there was nowhere to go, and he was relying on James to step back. Well, when James was across the ropes, there was nowhere else to go. James would use the ropes, lean on the ropes. He would throw uppercuts and left hooks and catch him. And then he would chop down with the right hand, okay? He was doing these type of things. That left hook, I believe, that opened that cut up on his right side of his eye. So that was the scenario. On the ropes, Ken Shamrock would come off those ropes, throwing bombs, landing 3 out of 5 of the punches that he threw. These guys were 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back. It was a combination haven between these two fighters. And I guarantee you this, they got to have a rematch. They got to have a rematch, because the way that these guys fought, Cheeseman looked like he was advancing, but he was starting to get hurt on top of the bleeding. He was starting to bleed more. People were starting to worry. You seen the doctors come over fucking with him, asking him questions. So, look, it was very, very challenging for both guys, okay? And at the 11th round, let me explain it how it went down. James Metcalf, Kid Shamrock, got on the ropes, did his thing, leaned, gave himself space, uppercut, right hand, left hook, right hand, and it was starting to resemble how Muhammad Ali came off the ropes against George Foreman. That's what it looked like at first, but he gets caught with a left hook, right? Then a right hand, then another right hand, and then a power left hook knocks him out cold. That's the type of fights that people are going to talk about for a long time. If you want to see fights, if you want to see brawls, if you want to see two competitive people, fighters, opponents, that's the fight you need to see. Right there. That's the fight you need to see right there, because that's the pure example of when you put everything on the line when you get in the ring. If you were there and you didn't enjoy that, again, you do not like boxing, get the hell out of here. Go watch tennis or golf or find something else to watch on the tube. Because that fight was worth talking about. That fight I think that was an absolute jewel live. Because I enjoyed it from where I was, because I was doing my live stream. Appreciate everybody that came on. But the fight was absolutely entertaining. It had full tenacity, and somebody had to get knocked out. I thought by the 11th round that the fight was going to go to the cards. That's what I thought. But the reason why the knockout was so spectacular, because it came out of nowhere. Both guys had hurt each other. Both guys had seemingly to hit each other with the best shots that they had in their arsenal. Obviously not. Because Cheeseman opened up and he went to this other level. Because when he hit him with the right and he knew he was hurt, he hit him again, then followed with the left hook, and then he was over with. And it was absolutely spontaneous. So not only it was the fight of the year, you got backwards and forwards action, you had a dynamic knockout at the end. It's almost like a little cherry on top, right? So it was an awesome thing to see. I would recommend anybody, if you haven't seen Cheeseman versus Ken Shamrock, okay? If you haven't seen that, Metcalf versus Cheeseman, please watch it. The Zone, if you're in the States, or if you're not, well, The Zone if you're in the UK. But I would employ anybody to please watch this fight. You guys tell me what you think about Cheeseman knocking out Metcalf in the 11th round. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching.